You ready for the lead-in?
Yep.
We need stickers for our laptops.
Yes. Did we get stickers made?
No. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Maverick Mindset Radio Show. I'm Adam Williams.
And I'm Ashley Muckinhaupt.
And we've been live for 30 seconds. And this is the radio show for the dreamers and doers. It's for those who are willing to step into the arena.
Some call us the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers.
We don't accept the status quo, and we leave the world better than we find it.
We approach each day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. We maintain a rational optimism about the future.
And this is the Maverick Mindset Radio Show, brought to you by me, Adam Williams. We're back. Episode 5. We other than that little hiccup at the beginning, we're hitting our groove.
Yeah.
And I think every episode we walk out and we say, that was the best episode yet. Yeah. In fact, one of my favorite, we're going to have a roll of like bloopers here, but my favorite moment from last episode, because you and I both go back and listen like as soon as it's over.
Multiple times.
Yeah. We're our biggest fans. Yeah. And as we should be. So you get to the end of the Facebook Live recording and the show ends and you just whisper, that was so good.
I know.
And you didn't realize we were so wrong. But that's the point, right? We're here trying to create something great. And so far, I think it's working. In fact, I just got a post on my wall this morning saying the podcast is solid, which it is. So first few shows have been really great. I think we're carrying a lot of momentum now. We're growing the list. And I think from what I'm hearing, a lot of people are actually implementing the things that we're telling them to implement and actually doing the things that we're going to do. And today may be the most important list of action items yet. Most impactful, I should say. Maybe not most important. Yes. So go ahead. You can read your lines now.
Okay. Yeah. So this episode will be good. Got to make sure you have your stuff out to take notes. Before we dive into all of that, though, we always get our details out of the way. All the like every show, we have some new.
We're stacking wins. Yeah. We are stacking wins, which is what this show is all about. So, where can people find us? From the beginning, Maverick Mindset Radio on Facebook. It's been great. Mm-hmm. We're growing the following. We're getting a lot of feedback, a lot of comments, a lot of people sharing the show, which we love. You know, we're putting this out there with the intention of improving people's lives, and the more people listen and love it and implement and share the show, the bigger the impact is. And we kind of joke that every time we're back on the show, we're somewhere else on the internet. This week, 2 new places. Yes. So we're still on Facebook, and we will continue to be. We've got the old episodes, as if we've been doing this that long. We've got our first 3 episodes. We're on 5 now. On Spotify, where we're growing the followers, and we'd love to get more followers on Spotify because that'll impact the algorithm. And this week, we are live on YouTube.
Yes.
Maverick Mindset Radio, which again, we're growing the base there. We need more subscribers on YouTube because when you hit 100 subscribers, there's some magic things that happen and you can improve your profile a little bit. So if you're listening and you're not yet following us on YouTube, hit it up. There's also going to be a ton of other really good content on there, not just radio show stuff. So we're on YouTube. And then last week when we launched MaverickMindsetRadio.com, we've already made adjustments to that, including what I think is one of the most exciting updates we've seen. We sit here every single week and we talk and we fill 54 minutes of time. Yeah. And Joel, our producer, takes 53 minutes of notes. Like, he is furiously writing. And I know he's not the only one. I know that there are people out there that listen to this either live or through the recording, and they're taking notes. And you can now go to MaverickMindsetRadio.com on the merch, the Maverick merch page, on the shop, and you can order your coffee mug because it's 9 o'clock in the morning when we do this live, and you can order your notebook with our faces on it.
That's great.
And if you want to get it and draw a funny hat on me or sunglasses or a mustache, go for it.
But, and send a pic.
Share it with all your friends. Hashtag, I don't know, somebody come up with a good hashtag. So I think it'd be cool for the people that listen to have one place where they take the notes from the show. Because again, we're teaching lessons, but we are telling you to implement. And if you don't write down what you're going to implement, you're going to forget. You're not going to do it. You're going to blame us for all of your failures, and we're not having it. So Maverick Mindset Radio, check out the shop, order your coffee cup and the notebook. And exciting announcement. Using the code Maverick10, you can get 10% off. So sorry to the one person who already ordered a notebook. We'll happily refund your $1.30. So Maverick10, MaverickMindsetRadio.com. Maverick10 is the code for 10% off. Get your notebook, take your notes, change your life.
Yeah.
So
don't just sit in the cart. Don't almost do it. Almost is not a Maverick mindset.
I asked somebody to test the promo code.
Calling that out.
I asked somebody to test the promo code. They tested the promo code. Didn't actually place an order, but showed the promo code.
You got to go all the way.
Thanks for your support.
Yeah.
All right. So we're all over the internet now, and we're continuing to grow it. I don't even know what we're going to do next week to level this up. Maybe we'll just add more merch.
I think we need to. I think it. Well, if
You've
you
got so many
caught
merch
that
ideas.
first 30 seconds while we were.
Stickers. We're gonna.
We're brainstorming.
They're gonna be all over the place. Joel's gonna show up next Wednesday, and we're gonna have the whole window covered. In stickers. All right. So you ready?
I need
Let's
a
do it.
T-shirt with my face on it.
That's You're gonna be like that person that wears the Adidas shirt and the Adidas pants and the Adidas sneakers, except it's just gonna be your cartoon.
Have you seen the
face.
Target commercial where she's everything like Target, like her? That's gonna be me.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, all right. Let's get to it. Episode 5.
So we're everywhere. So many places to listen. And last week we switched things up by starting with the quote of the day. So we're going to continue to do that. Start the shows off with the quote, just because they're a good lead-in to what our topics are.
Yeah, I think it helps frame what we're talking about. So today's quote of the day, as always, brought to you by Rust Belt Business Law. Rust Belt Business Law exists to help business owners with the issues that keep them up at night. Quote of the day. Successful people are not born that way. They become successful by establishing the habit of doing things unsuccessful people don't like to do. Successful people are successful because they make a habit of doing things that unsuccessful people don't like to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like that quote is pretty clear in what it's saying, but break it down.
Well, so I mean, that's going to be the whole show today. We're going to be talking about habits. We're going to be talking about stacking those little wins, little hinges, big doors. So we're not talking about completely disrupting your life and your schedule and everything else that you have going on. But this is just little stuff that you may not want to do, but you know it's going to be good for you. And I'm trying to think of stories and analogies that don't involve going to the gym, but that's always the easiest analogy for everybody to understand, although some of us makes us feel a little bad when we talk about it. But I did come up with some other stories and examples. So I have a statistic and I have a question for you, and I didn't prepare you for either.
Oh my gosh.
Well, this is what you get for not putting more prep time on my calendar.
I prepped.
So you prepped. We're working in silos here. Very independent Maverick mindset. So you know the statistic because I've shared this at trainings that we do in the office. But if you spend 100 hours improving a skill, you will be in the top 5% in the world at that skill. Now, top 5% is still a huge number, right? 8 billion people. We're talking, is that 400 million? I don't know. Math isn't my strong point. But 100 hours on a scale, you're in the top 5%. 100 hours is 16 minutes a day. If you committed 16 minutes a day to intentionally getting better at one thing, by the end of the year, you'd be in the top 5% of the world.
That's amazing.
And then imagine if you did it again another year after that. You'd be top 5% of the top 5%, maybe even beyond that. So I think a lot of people are familiar with the concept of 10,000 hours and how, like, you know, the Beatles played for 10,000 hours before they became the Beatles, and athletes play for 10,000 hours before they become like the GOATs, right? But this is just huge improvement without needing to be the best in the world. Yeah. And what a huge difference that would make. So 100 hours, 16 minutes a day, you'll be in the top 5% of the world in that skill. Okay, now my question. Okay. You put gas in your car.
Yes.
And we live in Pennsylvania, so you pump your own gas.
Yes.
Our New Jersey listeners are completely unfamiliar with that concept. Did you know it's illegal to pump your own gas in New Jersey?
Really?
Did you know? Yeah.
Why?
Right. It's New Jersey. Who knows? All right. That's for another episode. So when you pump your gas and it stops, right? It clicks. What do?
Pull it out.
That's it. So you fill until it clicks and then you're done.
Yes.
You don't get it to the nearest 25 cents or 50 cents or dollar.
No.
All right, well, this ruins the whole show for me then.
I'm sorry.
I was one of those people. Whenever I got to the gas station, I would pump until it got to 50 cents or $1.
Oh.
And so I've done this since I was before I was driving, because I used to pump my mom's gas. And she did it. I asked her why. Because like I just developed this habit from her. Every time I fill up my gas tank, I go to 50 cents or $1. I said, why do you do this? And at the time, what I learned is she did it because when she got her bank statement and she reconciled her checking account, she would know if her card got stolen or it was used fraudulently because somebody had some other round number on there. But I just kept doing it, but I didn't know why. Like until I asked her why she did that, I had no clue why. So I had this habit and I had not examined why I did it at all. They still do. So I called her this morning to confirm that story. And she said, well, I don't exactly remember that, but I don't remember that. So then she just texted me and she said, we do that at restaurants. When we add the tip, we make it to the nearest dollar. And I do that too.
Really?
But there's no reason why I do it. It's actually, the reason that I do it now, because I examine these things, is because I need to still make sure I can do math in my head.
Yep.
Like I want to challenge myself. I'm adding, a whole number with 2 decimals after it, but I want to make sure I can still do that in my head. But I think it was the same thing for them, that they wanted to do it to make sure, if they reconciled their check account, they would know if there was some fraudulent charge on their card. And I don't reconcile my checking account. I just open up the app and make sure there's enough money in there like everybody else does. But I think that was one of the lead-ins that I thought was really interesting for habits, is there's so many things that we do and we have no idea why we do them. It's completely unexamined. And one of the things that I started doing a few years ago is really thinking about why I do the things that I do. When I go, this is a horrible example because I don't do this. Actually, I'll give you a better example. I do my Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve every year. You know this.
I know
because
this.
Whenever we open the last couple of years, we've closed the office for the week between Christmas and New Year's. And when you show up that first day of work after that break, the conference room is trashed because there's wrapping paper and beer bottles and scissors and tape all over the place.
Didn't develop the habit of cleaning up.
Well, no, I got people for that. That's the point. But so I do all my shopping on Christmas Eve. But every Christmas Eve, I drive to Walmart. I buy a whole bunch of wrapping paper, and then I go and wrap the gifts that I bought. And I always buy the same wrapping paper. Like it's always the same package. It's the same criteria until I started thinking, why is this the wrapping paper that I buy? Why don't I order the stuff online that can have my face on it? Oh, we're going to get wrapping paper.
Oh my gosh. Now I'm so excited for Christmas.
That's where everybody's buying notebooks. We're going to wrap them with they're going to get sick of seeing us. I guess that's why it's better that they're cartoons and not real images.
Yeah.
But I think we all do things that we don't really think about. We do them because they are habits. Today's show is going to be about habits and thinking about why you do the things that you do and maybe trying to develop some new helpful habits. So I think we're going to give a challenge too, which I'm really excited about. But I wanted to talk first, one, because I need to make you feel guilty about this, but two, about a specific set of habits that I developed that have been super helpful for me. Because we've mentioned this on every show so far and we haven't talked about it, and that's 75 Hard.
Yeah. Anybody
who has talked to me since Father's Day of 2021, which was the first time I started doing this, knows what an impact 75 Hard has had on us. And before I tell the story, 2 things. First of all, we're going to invite Andy Frisella on this show.
Really?
Well, we're going to invite him. I don't know what it's going to take to get him on here, but it'll take a lot. But I'm going to meet him in June. I'm going to an event.
Okay.
So we're going to invite Andy Frisella, who invented 75 Hard. And then they also do an episode. He's like one of the number 1 podcasters in the world. Really impressive business owner. Polarizing, which I like. But so the second thing is I want to get Jackie on his show. Well, Jackie wants to get on his show, and I would like to support her in that because they do a 75 Hard versus episode where they talk about people who have done 75 Hard and how it's changed their lives. So today we're going to put that out in the universe that we're going to get Andy on this show, and we're going to get Jackie on his show. But so 75 Hard, for those who don't know, it is 75 days of 5 habits. And you do these habits every single day for 75 days. And if you miss one, you fail and you start over. And the 5 habits are: you follow a diet, you drink a gallon of water, you don't consume alcohol, you take a progress picture, you do 2 workouts of 45 minutes each, and one of them has to be outdoors. And you do 10 pages of reading, of nonfiction, right? So if you do that every single day, the hard part for me was the workouts, because that's an hour and a half of exercise every day. Yep. But the first time I did this, yes, there are massive physical benefits to going through this, but really it's the mental toughness.
Yeah, it's a mind thing.
Yep. And you have not done 75 Hard.
Well, I didn't finish 75 hard because I forgot to read.
You hadn't yet developed that habit.
No, I didn't. It's harder than you think it is.
Well, and it's supposed to be hard because
75 hard.
The goal is mental toughness.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be difficult. I just finished phase 1. Literally yesterday was my last day. And that's the same program for only 30 days, but it adds 3 other habits.
Yeah.
It adds a 5-minute cold shower every day. So today was my first hot shower in 30 days. It adds 10 minutes of dedicated visualization, which I really needed over the last 30 days. And then it includes what Andy calls power list items. So every day you do 3 additional power list items of, I will not go to bed until these things are done.
Yeah.
So mine yesterday, we talked about what I was doing yesterday. I had doctor's appointments in Pittsburgh. So I hired a driver and I took a videographer and I had 3 different pieces of content I wanted to create. That was my power list. Jackie just did the program with me. At 1:47, I woke up and she wasn't laying in the bed next to me. It was still made, right? So I called her and I'm like, hi. And she's like, I'm still working on my power list.
Oh,
She was on day 29 and didn't want to fail. And she said, I overcommitted. I gave myself too much to do, which we talk about on the show.
Yep.
Don't set too many goals. Don't try and create too many things at once. And she has a tendency to overcommit to that. It's a fault and also a massive blessing. Like she gets a lot done. So at 2 a.m. she was still awake. And I got nervous because today was the first day that I had to drop the kids off at school before getting into the radio show. And I knew I was going to need her help to get through it. So 75 Hard has completely transformed my life. And today, as an example, I'm not on the program. And I still woke up and I did my 10 minutes of reading. And I still woke up and I exercised. And I still woke up and ate a healthy breakfast. Like I did not stop and get the crappy breakfast sandwich. Now, we did talk, I'm flying to Charleston after this, and I will be drinking a beer and eating a hamburger when I get there. But I've developed these habits, and it's really, really, it's a really challenging program.
Well, habits take discipline.
Yep.
So you have to because your own worst enemy, I think, when you're trying to develop new habits or do a program like that is your own mind. You could really talk yourself out of doing it, or you think, I think I was on vacation when I failed.
I remember you were like, but I read like a pamphlet for the campground.
It didn't count.
No.
It didn't count. For me, like I justified it though.
And how far in were you?
I was good.
You were 60 some days, I think.
That's what the terrible part was. And
no, you know what the terrible part is? That was in 2021 and you haven't tried it again since then.
I know.
But here's the thing, and this is what I wanted to talk about because you and I talked about it in preparing for this show. We discussed you starting the program April 1st, which was 23 days ago. And I told you it would be helpful for you because I believe this program would be helpful for anyone. The things you learn about yourself and the things you learn about the difference between process goals and outcome goals, meaning the things that you do every day that you can check off regardless of what the outcome is. I knew it would be super helpful for you, but I didn't tell you that you had to do it.
Right.
And I didn't guilt and shame you into doing it.
Right.
Because something that difficult, you've got to want to do it for your reasons.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, sure, you can be manipulative and get people to do things, but like to commit to 75 days of doing that, chances are if I pressured you into doing it or made you feel bad for not doing it, you wouldn't stick with it.
Right.
So you've got to want
to do it.
You got to want to make it happen.
Yeah.
So that's why we haven't talked about it a whole lot on this show is the benefits. Mm-hmm. And you got a lot going on in your life. You just moved. You got things going on. So, like, maybe wouldn't be the ideal time. But I think that's also what we've talked about on this show. Why are you waiting for the perfect moment?
Right. There isn't one.
Everybody that I talked to at about 75 Hard. So, again, no alcohol, 2 workouts, 10 pages of reading, progress picture, following a diet. Everybody has drinking a gallon of water every single day. I don't know if I included that one.
Yes.
Everybody's got a reason for not doing it. Everybody I talk to says, oh, I couldn't do that because I can't drink that much water. Oh, I couldn't do that because my cousin's getting married in 47 days and that would really be difficult. That's the point.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make this thing work around the things that you have going on in your life and just try it.
Yeah.
I started my 75 days this year, December 16th, which means I made it through it was right after my birthday. I made it through Christmas. I made it through New Year's. I made it through the college football national championship game in Houston, which Royce and I flew down to. I made it through Valentine's Day. Like did it through really difficult things. I've done it through vacations.
Yeah.
I've done it through sporting events. I've done it through concerts. Like,
there's no easy time to do it. There's always
That's
something
exactly
going
it.
on, and
That's
you're
exactly the
like,
point.
yeah. And again, your mind is your own worst enemy because you can find an excuse to talk, which is what I did. I was like, I couldn't possibly commit to that because I have all this going on, and that's just not a good time.
and that's the irony is like, if you've got the reason for not doing it, that's exactly why you need to do it.
Yeah.
Because successful people make a habit of doing things that unsuccessful people don't want to do. That's exactly what we're trying to do. So with that, let's get into the challenge that we're going to introduce.
Okay.
And like everything else on this show, it's not as built as I wanted it to be, and we're still working on it. And I'll explain what that means later. But we are going to issue a challenge to our listeners. And you can start today, or you can start tomorrow, or you can start whenever you get to this recording. But here's my challenge. If you do these 5 things every day for the next 48 days, and I pick 48 because you need around 30, 21 to 28 to develop the habit, and then you'll continue to get in the routine. If you do these 5 things every day for the next 48 days, I'm calling it the Biz 48. So this is not a personal exercise. This is not a mental toughness exercise. These are things that will directly improve your business.
Yeah.
Because as you know, my belief is if your business is working for you, everything else in your life is a whole lot easier to accomplish. So this is entirely business focused. I'm calling it the Biz 48. I bought the domain. There's nothing there yet. And that was the other reason I picked 48 days, is because a bunch of other numbers that I wanted were already taken. So 48 seemed like a reasonable one. 5 things every day for 48 days. None of these are complex.
No.
None of these they're hard, but they're pretty simple. None of them are massively time consuming. They're just things that you have to do, that you could have it done. You could have this stuff done between 8 and 8:30 in the morning and have the entire rest of your day available to you. And I guarantee if you do this every day for 48 days, it will materially transform your business. In fact, if you do this for 48 days and you report back to us that you did it, we will have you as a guest on this show to talk about whatever you want. You want to promote your business, you want to talk about yourself, you want to tell your spouse how much you love him or her. We will have you as a guest on this show because it will prove the transformation that 5 simple habits can have, that little hinges can swing big doors, those little wins that you stack every single day. So you ready for this?
I'm ready.
You ready for the 5? We're going to go through one at a time and we're going to explain them. So the first one, this is your favorite. Do you want to do the first one?
Yeah.
Because I know you love this one. So go for it.
Okay. So the first one is call a customer. Call a customer once a day.
Period.
That's it. It's like simple. There's no more to it. Like call a customer. We call this. I'm not. I mean, I can't say that.
We call it gas calls.
We call
which
it
got
gas
from
calling.
someone else. Yes. Which stands for give a crap.
Yes.
Yep.
Can't say the other one.
But
yeah. Yeah. So.
But everybody knows.
Yeah. So this isn't calling to sell something. This isn't calling to do anything but simply check in, see how they're doing, and just have a conversation.
To care about them as human beings. Yep.
Yeah, which is not a lot of people do. So at first when I had to start doing this, because I was never...
This goes back to it's easy, it's simple but not easy.
Yeah,
this is a difficult thing to do, to pick up the phone.
It is. And I had this fear of calling people on the phone, and I did not want to do it. And Adam's like, you gotta do it. Just get in the habit of doing... I
forced you to do this because it was actually part of your job. Right?
Yeah. Now I don't mind doing it. But what I learned when I was calling people, I was scared. Like, I don't know what I was scared of, like what they were going to hang up on me or what, but people are so like, oh my gosh, thank you. Or hi, like, thank you for calling. Thank you for just checking in. They were really happy to, and at first you get, you're like, hey, I'm calling from Rust Belt Business Law. And they're like, yeah, because
everything's okay.
Yeah, everything's fine. I just want to see how things are going. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, things are great. And they start talking to you and they're happy and they appreciate. I don't know how many times I've heard, I appreciate you for calling. Thank you for calling, which then in return made me feel good.
Exactly.
So it was a win-win. Your customers, clients, they're happy. You're happy. And it builds that relationship in the future with them.
So let me put the bullet points around this.
Yes.
First thing is you're not calling to sell them anything.
Correct.
You're literally just calling to check in and actually care about them as human beings. Second thing is you're going to do this every day for 48 days. If you don't
not the same person.
Right. If you don't have 48 customers, if your list isn't that long,
Yeah.
call a vendor, call a supplier, call a potential customer. Just call someone related to your business and show concern and compassion for them. And listen to how their lives are going, and listen to how, like, we do business to business, listen to how their businesses are going, listen to what's going on in their families. You're going to learn a lot.
Yeah.
You're going to get better at marketing because you're going to hear important marketing messages and things that matter to your clients. But it's so shocking. So I had a different experience yesterday. I went to the dentist.
Yeah.
And it was fine. It's the dentist. You know, it met my expectations.
Right.
And actually, it exceeded my expectations because she laughed at all of my jokes, which is always a way to score bonus points. But I got home last night and my phone dings and it's a message from the dentist. It's a text that says, "Hey, hope you enjoyed your experience. Please leave us a review here." And my response is no. Like, I don't want your automated system to ask me for. Why don't you call me and just say, "How was it? You know, what did you think?" Now, I may not answer. Like a lot of people, I'm always in do not disturb mode. Yep. I can't wait till we open up the phone lines on this show, by the way. But people will call and just check in on us, I'm sure. There's just, I think I need to just drive this point home so it's abundantly clear. This is not a text. This is not an email. This is a phone call. If you need to schedule the phone call in advance, if you need to send an email or a text that just says, "Hey, I wanted to check in and see how it is," schedule the phone call, use your scheduling software, whatever. I actually taught Lewis, who was a guest on our show a couple episodes ago, about this. And sure enough, the last time I bought something from him, a couple weeks later, someone from his business called me. "Hey, how did you like the thing? I love the thing. I look great in it." Cool. What else is going on? Right? Like, what an impactful thing to have a business actually care about you. So,
and I know it sounds weird. I know you're thinking, because I did, I'm just going to call and say to someone, "How are you doing?" They're going to think I'm weird. I promise they don't. They really don't.
It's so rare for especially businesses to actually care about people. And we have a reward in our office that if you call and you genuinely show care, that you care about someone, and they yell at you and swear at you, I will give you a cash reward. Yeah. Because I'm so confident that it's never going to happen. Right? Even a really upset client, when you make that phone call, their demeanor will completely change. Yeah. In fact, you want to make this really hard, call your upset clients first, but we'll let you ease it.
You actually have to talk to someone. You can't call and leave, like, don't cheat. You have to connect. With somebody.
There has to be two-way communication. Yeah. All right, so that's number one. Every day for 48 days, call a customer. Mm-hmm. Number two, this is the hardest one for me, but it's had the biggest impact on me. Mm-hmm. Express gratitude. And we've talked about this on prior shows. Like, literally say out loud. And I would like to direct it to employees for us. I'm trying to direct it to employees, but if it's a vendor, if it's a customer, you got me with this one yesterday. I had a moment where I had to wipe the tear away from my eye, because maybe you're just better at this, or maybe you know that we've been talking about it, but we've signed up 2 coaching clients this week, which is really exciting. And the first one gave a partial payment. Mm-hmm. So you messaged me yesterday and said, "Hey, he made his first of 2 payments. You said I need his phone number and email address." I'm like, "Why?" "Well, I just want to call him and thank him for making that first payment." Yeah. "Oh, yeah, that's like a really nice and thoughtful." Here I am, like, let's get him scheduled. Let's get the welcome package sent out. Let's do all this stuff. And you're like, "Can I just call and thank this guy first?" Holy moly. Yeah. So expressing gratitude, say it out loud. It makes you feel better. Yeah. Like, literally, you become a more positive person when you express more gratitude. We've talked about this previously on the show. I just bought a new book. I think it's called The How of Happiness, which I'm going to start reading. Ooh. And I guarantee that expressing gratitude will be in there. You've got to say it out loud. You can't just keep it to yourself. But saying it out loud, expressing gratitude to someone in your business, do it every day for 48 days. Check the box, check it off the list. Will make a huge difference. I don't know how much more we need to dig into that. If you're already a person that expresses a lot of gratitude, great, this will be easy for you. If you're like me, where it's a challenge to be mindful of that, it's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. It takes 7 seconds.
If you're someone that does it a lot, it's already a habit you develop, try doing it with people that you normally wouldn't do it to. Like, I liked when you said vendors, or when you're going into the gas station or you're at a restaurant, like, express that gratitude to the people that might not hear it all the time. Like, that need to hear it. That want to hear it.
The people with the thankless job.
Yes.
Right? It's the cashier. But you know what? It's also the entrepreneur. Yeah. The owner of that business who is struggling. They're sitting up in the office worried about cash flow and marketing and the 1-star Google review and all of the other stuff. Thank them for taking the risk and putting this business on the map. You know, like, we don't get that very often from the employer perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, expressing gratitude. Item number 2, every day for 48 days will completely transform your business. All right, third one. I should have done this one last because I have very strong opinions on this one. Every day for 48 days, post on social media. Pick one platform. You don't need to do 3 videos a day on 5 different platforms. Just post on social media, period. That's the assignment for 48 days. Don't do it the way that you're doing it, though. Realtors, I'm calling you out. You are the worst at this. No one cares about your congratulations to my client Facebook post, realtors. Okay? I'm letting you know. Here is the framework that will improve your social media presence. And if you follow this framework through your posting, first of all, to make it easier to come up with content. But second of all, you'll actually get some people who are interested in this and want to see it. So every day for 48 days, follow this framework. I don't remember where I learned this. In fact, I may even be misquoting it, but it's close enough and it works. It's the framework that I follow and it helps. EEI, educate, entertain, and impact. Not in equal 1/3 proportions, but just make sure you're a little balanced out on this. So educate people every single day. So for example, last night or yesterday, there's a new like federal regulation that basically outlaws non-compete agreements. It's like earth-shattering for employers. So we will be posting about that to educate people about it. Really big deal. So whatever you do, take the opportunity to teach people something.
Yeah.
Add some value to their lives. Let them learn from you and establish your expertise. So what can you do to educate your audience? I do a lot of this on my social media channels with time management and productivity. Yeah. I was talking about it yesterday with like the idea of hiring a driver to take me to my doctor's appointments in Pittsburgh and also bringing the videographer. Like people need, I think there's a lot of people that don't even realize you can do stuff like that and how productive it can make you. So educating is item number 1 when you're posting on social media. What can you teach people? What are you an expert at? What do you have experience with? What do you do? What did you do really, really badly that you want other people to avoid those mistakes? So educate is item number 1. Number 2, entertain. I'm great at this.
Yeah.
I am funny. I can make people laugh. No. Even if you're not funny.
Someone has some confidence over here.
No, if there's one thing I'm good at, it's entertaining people. I'm not at a level, I want to get there. I'm not at a level where I could do like stand-up comedy.
Tune in for the episode on confidence. Adam's doing the whole show.
Ooh, I'm nervous about that. All right, so entertain people. So if you have, like, we've all got our own senses of humor, right?
Yes.
Even if you don't think you're funny, maybe it's just resharing some other content.
Yeah.
But I've got people that I follow on social media who are business people and they're using it to promote themselves, and that's all they do is entertain people. It's all they do is reshare other memes which are really funny. So it's a little out of balance.
It doesn't have to be funny. Even something that like shocking or happened to like that's not even funny. Like, oh my gosh, like it's still entertaining.
Entertainment.
Like,
yeah, exactly. Okay, so we've got educate, we've got entertain, and then we've got impact. Yep. And one of my quotes that I think I got this from David Nagel, who I think got it from somebody else, is you can't be in a fight if you don't have an enemy, right? Like you can't win a fight if you're not engaged in a fight. So for me, I have the impact that I want to have is I want to defeat certain enemies. So Pennywise tax strategies, I really want to defund the IRS. Yep. So I'm going to spend time talking about that, right? That's the impact that I want to have. Also, with the tax strategy business, we want to put more money in the pockets of business owners by reducing their tax bill.
Yes.
That's the impact that I want to have. With the radio show, we want to improve the lives of entrepreneurs and make their businesses more impactful. That's the impact that I want to have.
Yeah.
So if I post on social media those 3 categories, I'm educating people, I'm entertaining people, and I'm having an impact or sharing my impact, it's a much more thorough social media presence than what most people are doing right now. So if you can do those 3 things every day on social media for 48 days, and again, don't go crazy with this. This doesn't need to be long form video. This doesn't need to be super long posts. This can be really quick stuff that you can do when you're walking from your parking lot to your office. You could handle some of these posts. So every day for 48 days, post on social media. So we've got call a customer, express gratitude, social media post.
Yep.
Got it. You ready for this? All right. Number 4. I'm excited to get to number 5, but number 4, I mentioned this in my book, which is coming out so soon. I talk about stepping on the scale. And actually in our business, 2024 is the year of results. We are measuring our results. We were 1 week into running Facebook ads, and I had the vendor report back to me how many leads and our cost per lead, right? Like, we are not hiding out from the numbers. That we're really hammering at that this year. And I've found that the better grasp I get of the numbers in my business, the more successful the business becomes, right? So we've got our leadership scorecard where every week we track 14 different numbers. And then each of our different departments have their weekly scorecards. Marketing has got its scorecard. Sales has its. Production has its scorecard. Just pick one number. Pick one metric that you will look at every day. It can be the same number every day. Maybe you just wake up and check your bank balance.
Yeah.
I actually did that for a period. Every day I would wake up and the very first thing I would do is open up my app and check the bank balance, because it wasn't enough. And I knew where it needed to be. And if I checked every day, it's like stepping on the scale every day. I knew where it was going. So you could pick the same number every day, or you could pick a different one. Look at some number in your business every day. It could be the size of your email list. It could be the number of followers you have on social media. It could be the number of leads you generated. It could be revenue. It could be collections. Like, pick some metric. I think the phrase is, if you measure it, you improve it. So pick some number that you want to track. And whether it's the same one every day, or if it's a different one every day for 48 days, or maybe it's a different one on Monday and a different one on Tuesday, but track some number. And we've done this.
Yeah.
In fact, it's really funny because I'm looking at a box over here in the studio that you can like drop coins in.
Yeah.
And it's got the little thermometer on there to show how much money they've raised for this worthy cause.
Yeah.
Right. So they're measuring that number. The other thing I really like about it is on public display.
Yeah.
And you and I have done this.
Yes. We did this 2 different times we were tracking revenue.
Yep.
It became a goal. And there was a timeline on these for each. So that was the other thing that I think sometimes is important. Give yourself maybe you don't have to, but I think it helped to give. But anyways, you did your, step on the scale. And so it had to be public, and it had to be.
We made a poster.
Yep. We made 2 posters. So the first one was for a trip to Florida. So I think we used margarita glasses.
We wanted to do $100,000 in a month.
Yeah.
And if you did that, you were going to get the $100,000 margarita.
Yeah. So it was coloring up the margarita. I believe that's what it was.
It's margarita glass.
Yeah. And then the other one was the parking lot with the Jeeps to get the Jeep. And so every time we could put a little Jeep. I think Royce made the Jeeps.
Yeah, we printed them out. We drew. We're not artists, but we drew a little parking lot.
Yes.
I think it had 20 spaces on it, and every parking space was $5,000.
Yes.
And when we made an extra $5,000, we'd slap a picture of a Jeep.
Yeah.
Because my favorite part of that is we did it more than 2 months. We did the trip to Florida, so we took you to a seminar with us, and we took your daughter.
Yeah.
And what was the deal? She had never been on an airplane before.
She'd never flown before. She'd never been to Florida. So it was 2 of those. She'd never been to Florida, and she'd never had been on a plane before.
Yeah. So my favorite part of this, though, is we had a handful of these posters, and the deal was I'd take you to Florida if we brought in the 100,000, which you did, and then I'd buy you a car if we hit 100,000, and you fell short barely.
Yeah.
Like 3 months in a row, which was the best possible outcome for me.
I know.
Because $97,000 in a month is pretty stinking close and pretty good for the business, but you didn't hit 100, so you didn't get the car. So that made it, and we were able to get a little nicer car because of that. But that was the challenge that we had. So you still have these posters hanging.
I do.
Up. We had another one I'll never forget, January 21st of last year. I got really upset with a competitor of ours. Not a local competitor, so chill out. But I wanted to go and sign up 300 new clients, which that would have doubled the program that we were working on. So it was Project 300.
Yeah.
And just like the movie, remember that, I think it was Kristen, like photoshopped my face on the guy from 300, and it was life size stuck on our wall. And then we had the shields of the 300 warriors. And every time we signed up a client, we would put their name on a shield, we'd slap it up on the wall. And I think we only ended up at 140. We didn't even get halfway there.
Yeah.
But we tracked it every single day. Royce would come in every Wednesday and he'd make the shields,
Yep.
and he'd stick it up there. That was part of his job, which when we talk about hiring your kids for tax strategies, it's a great example.
Yep.
So every Wednesday he'd come in and he'd fill out the shield and we'd stick it up on the board, and we fell short. We
Yeah.
only hit 140. Except you realize that 140 clients was about $2 million of revenue.
Yeah.
So if you want to call that a failure, yeah, we didn't hit the 300, but that's also $2 million of revenue that we probably wouldn't have had if
we hadn't
every
done that.
single person in that office didn't walk by that poster every single day for 6 months, probably.
Well, and that's the point, is making it public. So you could keep it in a spreadsheet, or you can write it down where you don't have to see it unless you open it up to look at it. But when it's, you hung those posters right in front of my face every day. So like, I didn't have a choice but to see whether I was failing at it or achieving that or moving it. You had to look at it every day. There was no escaping it. So seeing if you didn't hit it for that day, or didn't bring something in, like, there's this, when it's right in front of your face, you really have to want to do the things to get the results, to do whatever that goal is that you're trying to achieve. So I think it's better if you could see it, if others can see it, because you would walk into my you would put your head into the office and be like, didn't move yet.
Yeah,
Didn't get that yet. And I'm like,
the margarita
oh my
glass
gosh.
is not any
Yeah.
fuller.
Yeah. So that was, when other people can also, get in on that and call
Well,
you.
and I think the thing is, that's the point of this habit stacking, the Biz 48, habit number 4 of tracking 1 metric a day. By the way, let's check in. Maverick Mindset Radio Show, streaming live on Facebook, streaming live on YouTube, over the AM and FM airwaves of Erie, Pennsylvania, blowing your minds every Wednesday at 9, going live at 9:05. So we're talking about tracking metrics, 1 metric every day for 48 days.
Yeah.
And I guarantee if you do this, your business will improve.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about making it very public. Don't overcomplicate this. Don't make the spreadsheet. I've got a friend in Pittsburgh that runs a really successful business, and they track 6 key numbers. And they've got 6 monitors in their main entrance that show the numbers every single day. It's super cool. It's super impressive. Don't do that. Start with Post-it notes.
Yeah.
Right? They stick on a wall.
We did that.
We've done Post-it notes.
Yeah.
We've done Post-it
A
notes
whole wall.
for conversions of how many clients. If we want to sign up 30 clients in a month, we will put 30 blank Post-it notes on the wall.
Yeah.
And when we sign up a client, we move that Post-it note to the other part of the wall and we write the name on it. And there's no hiding out from it.
Nope.
So that's a good example of tracking the same number every day. You walk in and say, all right, we got 2 clients. All right, now we got 4 clients. But it doesn't need to be the same number every day. But look at some number. So I again, using the stepping on the scale example, my scale shows me BMR, whatever my basal metabolic rate is. It shows me bone density. It shows me muscle mass. It shows me water. It shows me a bunch of things.
Yeah.
The worst metric, this is the one that drives me crazy and I don't even know how they calculate it. It shows me my calculated age.
Oh.
Which I just dropped. Finishing 75 hard dropped me from 44 to 43, but I'm only 41.
Wow.
And this one, I don't even know how it's calculated, but it drives me crazy. I need to learn how to improve that number more consistently. But anyway, track 1 metric every day for 48 days. Okay. Anything else you want to cover on numbers? Make it public. Make it easy. Don't overcomplicate it. Put it out there. Share it with other people.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. So we've talked about 4 things in the Biz 48 that if you do these things every day for 48 days, it will transform your business. The 5th thing, you do this one too, every day for 48 days, we'll have you as a guest on the show to share your experience because I guarantee this will transform your business. This goes back to the statistic from earlier. Spend 15 minutes improving some skill. Make it 16 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll call it 15. Spend 15 minutes getting better at something every single day. And if you do that every day for 365 days, you get to your 100 hours and you will be in the top 5% in the world. And I know you've got experience with this one.
I do. As I mentioned before, I wasn't a big fan of being on the phone. But we, moving into sales with the business, we had started, you signed us up for a training with Grant Cardone, who's an American author, motivational speaker, real estate investor, sales trainer, all of that. So he had the sales trainings that anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes a day that you had to watch, and you had to watch them every day. And they stress that 1 video every day, 10 to 15 minutes. And I was like, okay, that doesn't seem like a long time. That's not going to do much, but all right. I didn't put, much thought into it. Every day, though, listening to it, and during those videos, he repeats things, the same thing, like over and over. And I'm like, there's a lot of repetition. I wasn't getting why. But when you're only spending 10 to 15 minutes a day, and then during that you're hearing something over and over, the next thing I knew, being on the phone and doing the sales calls became easier and easier, and I wasn't scared of it. And then the things that he was saying that I didn't think was going to stick after 10, 15 minutes, I found myself being like, yeah, but Grant Cardone said, or yeah, but I have to do this, or hearing myself saying the things that, he said to say on the phone, it stuck. And so now it's one of...
And how long have we started this in December, and it's now the end of April, so we're 4 or 5 months into it.
And now it's just all of those lessons, all of the things that... every phone call now, it's in my head, the things that he's saying. I use those lessons in the sales that I'm trying to make, or how I'm following up, all the parts of sales. So something that I thought was only 10 to 15 minutes a day that wasn't going to have an impact, doing that every day has had a great impact and has developed that skill of calling people.
So you've probably, if I'm doing the math, you've probably put about 40 hours into that, which is the equivalent of an extra work week of getting better at sales. And now here, like even this week, or yesterday, we won't share the details, but I issued a challenge for you that made you a good chunk of money because you were comfortable doing sales. And
I had to do it on the phone, which is something I would have never done before. I would have been like, no way.
So 15 minutes a day on a skill, sales is a perfect example of that. It could be reading a book. It could be practicing, rehearsing. It could be watching videos, but spend 15 minutes a day intentionally getting better at something. I do this with the books that I read. That I right now I'm working on developing some different coaching packages. So I am studying every day what other coaches are doing and reading a couple books on how to do this type of stuff, and every day for 15 minutes. I'm not going to do the full 100 hours on this one specific thing, but rather than carving out an entire day or an entire weekend to figure this out, it's just a little bit every single day that by the end of this, I'll be really good at that thing. And I have become really, really good at growing a business. Why is that? Because I've spent the last 5 years improving it. A little bit every single day, reading books, studying what other people do, listening to podcasts, listening to Maverick Mindset Radio Show, which didn't exist, but I wish that it did when I was on the come up. So 5 things every day, 48 days. Call a customer, express gratitude, post on social media using the Educate, Entertain, Impact framework, track one metric, one number in your business, and spend 15 minutes improving a skill. How much time every single day do you think somebody would have to invest in that? Maybe half an hour?
Maybe.
At most?
At most.
Maybe if you've got to call 10 people to actually connect. So 30 minutes a day, every day for 48 days. Yes, do it on the weekends. Call a customer on a Saturday at 11 a.m. and see how they respond to it. They will be flattered that you reached out and actually care about them. So every day for 48 days. Go out and do this. Now, here's where we're going with this. Here's what I know is going to happen. A handful of people are going to do this for a couple days and they're going to fail. We may get 1 or 2 people that go all the way through. Maybe. Maybe. I'd be shocked. And what's going to happen is one of the reasons that they're not going to do it is they don't have the environment in place to make it happen. And here's what I mean by that, right? You want to start eating healthier, but you haven't thrown out the snacks in your pantry. We're going to help. I'm working on helping create the environment. Here's what I mean by that. We are actually going to produce cards, like literal to-do list cards, because I carry one around every day, a 3x5 index card. But we're working on getting them printed with these 5 things, and you will buy a deck of cards that's got all 48 cards in it. So you can do one every single day. There's space to take notes. There's space to write the date on it. And I just did this because I had to buy more index cards. I just went back and looked at some of my goals from a year ago and 6 months ago, and it's so awesome to see
to look back,
how far
save them.
It's a scrapbook. It's a journal practically because I'm writing down the cool stuff that I'm doing every single day, the power list that I have. So we're working on getting cards printed. One of the things that took a while on this is I wanted to get them printed in America, and that actually proved to be a lot more challenging than I expected. So we'll have cards, we'll have a custom box that come with it. So we talk about Maverick merch. The Biz 48 cards will be coming out cool. Soon-ish. But for now, again, don't overcomplicate it. Go grab a scrap of paper. Write down these 5 things. Call a customer, express gratitude, post on social media, track one metric, and spend 15 minutes improving a skill. Don't go to bed until those things are done.
Yeah. Check it off.
Every day. Oh, checking it off feels awesome.
Yeah.
If you're a person that has a to-do list on a computer, I want to know what else is wrong in your life, like who hurt you. But there's nothing better. There's nothing better than a pad of paper and a Sharpie and crossing that item off. And that, like, you will build, not only will you have a direct impact from doing these things, not only will your business improve, you will build so much momentum, because every day, what's 5 times 48? Is that 240? I don't know.
I mean, I wasn't a math person.
This is why I got to do the even dollars at the restaurant to continue
on the radio.
So 48 items times 5 days. 48 times 5. 240. Nailed it.
Good job.
240 items that you will cross off your list in the next 48 days. That's like a month and a half. So we're talking beginning of June.
Yeah.
Kids are getting out of school. I guarantee your business will be transformed from this. So that's the biz.
But you have to do it. It's just like 75 hard. If you fail, you should start over. You have to do it, because it is that consistency, and that means 7 days a week of doing. I think if you give yourself that day off, it's going to be too hard to get back into it.
Yep.
Like on a Monday. So it sounds simple, but it's a challenge.
It may take a little bit of planning if you need to schedule the customer calls in advance. If you want to plan out your social media, like, you can make this easier on yourself if you invest a little bit of time up front, or you could just jump in and do it.
Yeah.
So
it's a maverick mindset. So if you don't, well,
it's a maverick mindset with the action. We need a stronger word for that, but it's not just the mindset. It starts with the mindset, but it has to show up in action.
Yep.
So, all right, let's get into our obscure holiday. This is your new segment.
Yes.
That you were so excited about, and I actually like this holiday better than last week's holiday.
Yeah.
So what is it? Let's hear it.
All right, so this holiday, you see, like, you messed me up. I'm supposed to
read it. Okay, so go ahead. All right, take 2.
Blooper number 2.
This is where you
it's
say
time again for our obscure holiday. And Adam's going to tell us what it is.
We need to color code these better.
Yeah.
I need a color. All right. So it's April 24th, and it is National Bucket List Day.
Yes. That's a good one.
That is a good one. It's never too late to set new goals, take the dream vacation, inspire people around you. I've got some big goals this year.
Yeah.
I've got the 7. I think I'm through 2 or 3 of them so far. But yeah, the bucket list. You know what's on my bucket list that I really want to do? And again, this is such a silly example of, like, this isn't... Some people are going to hear this and go, that's it? But I want to learn how to make pasta.
Oh, like the actual noodles.
Homemade.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what pasta is. Noodles.
Well,
yeah. So you take the wet and dry ingredients and you mix it up and you roll it out. And
we'll go to Italy
or whatever.
And I'm sure.
But I could.
Yeah.
Or I could just, call a friend of mine who knows how to make pasta, or download a video on YouTube. But that was something I recently added to my bucket list. You got anything on yours?
Yeah, I was having my face on something and.
On a product, you mean?
Check.
You can put your face on that.
No, I don't mean to. I'm not going to slap my face on something. I meant
on some Maverick
merch.
On some Maverick merch. All right, so we got the notebook. So today would have been a great day to have a notebook in front of you to write down the Biz 48, 5 challenges every day, 5 habits every day for 48 days. And it would have been a great day to have a cup of coffee in front of you with Ashley's face on it. I can't wait. I think every piece of merch we sell should have. You know what we'll do? We're going to A/B test. We're going to sell some merch with your face and some merch with my face.
Let's track it on a metric.
Yep. It'll be a very public scoreboard. We may make that one digital just so the entire internet can see it.
It's going to be a challenge.
But yeah, we'll see, like, who sells more stickers, right?
Okay.
Ashley or Adam.
Okay.
We'll do it for charity. We'll come up with a good charity. I need, you know what? Actually, I'm going to be in Chicago in a couple weeks. I'm trying to start a scholarship fund. And there's a law firm owner I know who does a lot of that stuff, and I had a call with her. That reminds me, I got to follow up with her, because I want to start a scholarship fund for entrepreneurs, like the kids of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And all right, so we'll get back on that, and then we'll do a contest with merch.
Uh-huh.
The winner will get something, and the charity will benefit more than any of us. Hopefully if we sell more merch.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to put Joel's face on some stuff too, because maybe he's the dark
Joel's
horse.
like,
in it. He's like, no, royalties.
Joel's like, no.
All right, so we got through our action items. We talked. That was the whole episode today.
Yeah.
Was our action
Yes.
items. The Biz 48, the 5 things that you need to do. Call a customer every day for 48 days. Express gratitude to someone on your team. Say it out loud. Post on social media. Track one metric. Spend 15 minutes on a skill. It will transform your business.
Yes.
And you'll check in with us in June around Father's Day, which I'm really excited about that episode. Mother's Day and Father's Day weeks, we're going to have great episodes.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. So yeah, it's going to be good. I mean, I'm leaving here. I'm heading to the airport right after this, and don't be surprised if you get a phone call from me. So that's it. I believe in you. See you next week.